Hi there, my name's Angie, and I would like to share with you how I ended up with BioMe Secret as my way of maintaining health, energy, and focus so that I can carry on with an energetic life. I started out of the womb at 9 pounds, which pretty much set me up to be a big boned girl. Went through my adolescence heavy, was always told that I was just big boned, and I was very athletic. Started working with my dad at the age of 6 at his golf course, and carried on throughout my schooling with lots of part-time jobs. I've always been a worker. After I got out of school, I went ahead and got into the workforce full-time and had lots of opportunities, had moved up to the San Juan Islands in Washington State, which was a good move for me. And then I had my daughter, and I ended up single parenting like lots and lots of women do. And that was fine. It was a lot of work, of course, to maintain jobs and raise my daughter with the help of family. And as time went on, I was able to maintain my weight, which had been a problem, but the busier I got, the easier it was to, keep it off. I was working at a golf course where I was running around all the time, and then I owned a restaurant, and in owning the restaurant, I also branched out into catering. Catered the Lions, the Seroptimus, the Kiwanis, the Rotary Clubs, all in conjunction with my restaurant, who I had bought with my dad, who had been my business partner, mentor, and best friend my whole life. In 1998, at the age of, I believe I was 37, he died unexpectedly with no warning, which threw me into a full-blown denial of grief. I shoved it all down and just work. And then the same thing happened with my mom 4 years after that. And again, I just went into denial, and there was no warning. They were fine, but they just had suffered massive heart attacks and were gone. And so I threw myself into work and raising my daughter, unknowing that I was killing my adrenals, which was killing my thyroid, because I had stuffed down all of this grief and just worked and didn't pay close attention to myself at all. I just needed to get the job done. And as time went on, menopause started creeping in, and that was a real chore. I had difficulty with getting out of bed every day. It took 2 pots of coffee just to get up and in the shower. Then I had to run my restaurant, and I had to run the caterings and bring my daughter up by myself, make sure she got to her sporting events and was taken care of properly, but not knowing that there was anything wrong. I just thought that I was tired all the time. I didn't understand. Nobody had educated me. I hadn't educated myself. And so I went through the period of menopause into my early to mid 40s in misery. I was tired all the time. My hair was falling out. My eyebrows were falling out. It was just very hard. So eventually I found help through a female doctor, and she went ahead and told me that I had a thyroid disorder, and she got me all tuned up on the right medication. And then it was a matter of educating myself on what I could and could not eat, because food is a very important aspect of taking care of your thyroid. There are more things that you can't eat that are quote unquote good for you that interrupt the thyroid function. So I had to educate myself, and I did manage to get rid of quite a bit of that menopausal weight once my thyroid kicked in. But then I experienced another upset in my personal life, which threw me into another tailspin of fatigue and not eating right. Probably the worst thing that I had done was I threw out my scale a long time ago in disgust at myself. I didn't want to keep weighing myself and seeing those numbers go up. I just talk about denial. I just didn't want to accept that it was happening. And so I would just get a bigger pair of pants or, cover myself up with clothes and bigger aprons. The ones that didn't tie in front, I just put it off the back burner and tied it in the back. And then I kind of snapped out of it at a point in time and managed to lose quite a bit of weight through a variety of different diets, so to speak. In those diets, I was constantly having to pay attention to calorie counting or the amount of carbs in something or the amount of protein, what they were made of. I accidentally got myself hooked into whey protein shakes because somebody had told me that they were good, and that was very bad. After researching, whey protein is very bad for women of menopausal age. So I quit doing that. And then I managed to find a nice man who I had a relationship with for 8 years. We were very happy. During that period of time, I was running around really busy all the time with the catering. I had since lost my restaurant, but I still had the catering, which was a 6-month gig that starts at 3:30 in the morning and doesn't end until 8 at night. And that runs, 6 days a week with the 1 day to recoup and shop and do laundry, etc. And then I'm back up and running again. In that period of time also, my daughter had moved home from college with a very nice man. They got married and they bought a home right next to me. And I am now the wonderful grandparent to these beautiful children. They take up all of my emotional time now because this wonderful man that I had the relationship with ended up having a terminal cancer diagnosis that I found out about on our second date. And again, because I'm in denial like nobody else, I managed to throw myself into every aspect of caregiving that I could possibly imagine for him. And during that time, because of the emotional toll and the financial toll that cancer can take on and being a caregiver, I completely forgot about myself. And I had been a walker. I would walk an hour a day, every day, no matter what. His leg was incapacitated due to the tumor. And so I stopped walking to have more time with him. And wasn't paying attention to myself at all. And of course that weight just crept up and crept up and crept up. And it was very expensive to try to maintain the medical bills and the food and everything. And so I reverted into eating the cheap processed food that's really not good for you. And I blew up and got really big. And didn't understand, this is me and my grandchildren, this is me at my heaviest. Because I wasn't paying attention, I didn't weigh myself, I didn't have any concern about whether my clothes fit or not. I was mostly wearing sweats anyway. And then he passed away, and that was 5 years ago. And after about a year, it was during the COVID-19 pandemic, and it was very, very difficult. During that, there was about a year after that happened that I started to come out of it and tried to, get my act together again. And during that time, somebody had mentioned keto to me and paleo diets and vegetarian diets and vegan diets and gluten-free diets. And so I was trying all of them and nothing was working. And then I was babysitting my grandchildren while I had sent my daughter and son-in-law away, and I managed to break my arm. That put me on the couch for 2 months to 3 months to try to heal that. And so all of the work that I had done prior fell apart because now I was immobile for a while because they had told me that in order for it to heal correctly, I had to keep it elevated, etc. So I just used that as a great excuse to sit on the couch and watch Netflix all day and eat bad food. So that piled it back on. Then the arm got better, and during all of this time, of course, I've got to try to work with one arm, etc. And I had help. I had come out of my broken arm and I had to go to the doctor to get blood work done for my thyroid, and they weighed me and it had said 212 pounds. And that was what people refer to as a real eye-opener, because I had weighed 250 the day that I gave birth to my daughter, but after that I had never gotten that high. And I thought, I have got to find something that'll work. And I was exasperated and not defeated. I never got defeated. I'm a very positive person, and I kept thinking there's got to be something. And I had been trying to go the keto route. That was so difficult because not only was it expensive for food, but it was my mind had to constantly keep thinking all the time about things, and I don't have time for that. I wanted to be present with my grandchildren. They were growing up quickly, and the sporting events and the dance recitals and all of the things. I'm their primary caregiver. I watch them 4 days a week. Busy children. So I had to find something that I could use, and I had always liked the shakes. The idea of shakes. I had tried the Slim Fast many years ago. I tried the Atkins. I tried all of them. It never filled me up. I always would have the shake, and then I would think, oh, now I'm hungry. Now what can I eat? And then I have to think, oh, what can I eat? Well, then I was scrolling through Facebook and came across a advertisement that had done all the work for me. They had figured out what was the best shake that had all of the nutrients and a lot of protein and good taste, etc., etc. Well, I had tried a few of those. The keto chow was horrible, and I had tried a couple of others, but I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to give this a shot. And so I got my first box of it, and I made my first drink, and it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious, and I drank it all, and I didn't even have to eat dinner that day. I was so impressed. The dizziness was gone. The hunger pains were gone. It had all of the things that I needed so that I could just get going. As time went on, and I decided this is going to work for me, I formulated my own method of making it. I put in the blender with a little bit of coconut milk and water and ice and BioMe Secret and a little scoop of collagen, and I blend that up and I put it in my to-go cup, and I'm ready to go. The best thing about BioMe Secret for me is it's convenient. It just is the one time that I just got to mix it up, and then I'm on the run. Whether it's drinking it all at one time or sipping it throughout the day, I've now acclimated. I've lost 40 pounds as of this morning, and I've acclimated myself now to be drinking maybe half of this and then settle in for the day, and as I'm full and I'm not jittery and I'm not headachy, I'm not hungry, and then I'll finish the second part of it maybe around 2 or 3ish in the afternoon, and then I'm all set and ready, and then I'll just have a little bit of dinner. I keep myself regimented. I just have a little chicken and salad, and I'll switch it up every now and again if there's some fresh fish available. I live in an area where fresh fish can be available frequently, so sometimes I'll go ahead that route. And that makes it so that I'm on point and on target every day. I no longer think about what can I have for breakfast? What can I have for lunch? What did I have for breakfast? I can't have that for lunch. Oh, I can't have dinner now. I no longer have to worry about any of that, because now I can just make my shake, and I like the chocolate flavor, and I supplement that with their metabolism boost, and I start my day with the bloating relief, and I end my day with the bloating relief, both of their supplements, and I feel really good. I feel energetic. I no longer have to have like a 10-minute break every now and again. I can just go. My 15-hour days during the catering, I just swing right through it. When I'm doing my catering, I'm actually making breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 40 people, 7 days a week pretty much. In that, because I've been doing it for so long, I no longer have to taste everything to make sure it's good. But I'm not hungry. I'm not snacking on any of the food that I'm making, because sometimes I make really good cakes and pies. I'm no longer snacking on any of those things like I used to. I just have my shake. I have it handy with me, and my cravings are gone. My blood sugar is stable all the time. I had high blood pressure, and now that is evened out a little bit. My doctor had told me that if I didn't get a grip on things, I was headed towards, some health concerns like diabetes or whatever else is associated with being overweight and inactive. Inactive wasn't my problem, but I was kind of sluggish instead of being running around really lightly. Now I run around lightly. And I just got finished taking care of my grandchildren for a week by myself, 10 and 6 years old, and we had to run to the county fair, we had to run errands, we had to go to the park with the bicycles. All of it was done with ease, whereas before it was kind of like a chore. And I never wanted any day that I take care of my grandchildren to feel like a chore. I love them, and I want it to always feel like I can get up and go. Also, I want to feel like that for myself. I want to be able to get up every day, greet it, positively take it on, and feel good about doing it. And that's what I'm able to do now, and I wasn't able to do it for a long time. So in short, I'm hoping that I will always have this available to me, because I'm not sure what I would do without it. But I'm thinking it'll be for the rest of my life. I will probably be maintaining my lifestyle with BioMe Secret. I have 30 more pounds that I would like to get off. My goal is 140, 145-ish. If I attain that, great. If I don't, I'm confident that I can get, another 10 to 20 pounds off. And in the interim, I feel good. I don't feel like I'm deprived of anything. Again, I'm a very regimented person, and I wanted this to work. And it's a common misconception that there is a miracle out there. You have to work. You have to do the work to get the result. And I feel like this is a good tool, because it doesn't feel like it's hard. It doesn't feel like it's a hard thing to do. It feels like it's pretty easy. So this is my little story, and I hope I can help somebody else.